thank you once again for joining me on YouTube. And I have an incredibly talented and beautiful guest join me, who is the wonderful Haylie Hansen. So I'm going to ask Haylie if she could give everyone on the internet a short introduction of who she is.
Hi, I'm Haylie Hansen. I am an actress, a model, working on breaking into the singing industry right now. I assistant direct on the side at the moment. And yeah, I'm from Vancouver, BC. Very much outdoor kind of nature girl, but when I'm acting, of course, I put on that city vibe to me. Yeah.
So this is really cool because obviously we've had so many Americans. As much as we love the Americans, it's very exciting to have a Canadian on here, and also that you're Canadian born and bred as well. So growing up, was acting, performing always a call, or did other things take your interest as well?
I was always like from the time I was born, I was like, no, I'm gonna be an actor, I'm gonna be a performer. Like that's kind of the deal. And then of course I tried like every form of dance, every sport, because I think my parents were like, oh, what if we tried this? What if we tried that? And then eventually I was like, no, I'm gonna be an actor. So they're like, all right, let's follow that path. Let's get you into that. So I started with like theater classes in my hometown, just like performing arts stuff. And then eventually when I turned 14, I auditioned for this acting program in Florida, went that one summer, did a huge acting seminar in Florida, got my first agent from there, and then just like audition.
Do you remember what your first sort of any sort of role was?
My very first role ever as an actor was in Heretic, and first booking out of the gate when I got my new agent after high school, because I took a break for senior year, and then like my first few months of university, I was like, okay, like I'll slow down, and then my soul was just like, no, you need to get it back into acting, do it, and then yeah, first audition back at it was Heretic and booked it.
Okay, so if people aren't aware and haven't quite made the link, because obviously most people hear of vertical dramas, Heretic's like a big, amazing, brilliant movie starring Hugh Grant gone evil. Basically, I think it's fair to say Hugh Grant found his villain side. It's his villain era. What was that like? Because I mean, that is quite something, isn't it? To walk out of,
Yeah.
basically high school straight into that sort of set with that level of film and people in it.
It was crazy because I had never been on a set before. I didn't know any of the terms. I didn't know where to stand, what to say, who the people were. So everybody was introducing themselves to me, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna remember your name in like 5 seconds, but okay. So I'm like trying to like write down the people's names and looking at the call sheet and like going to the costume fitting. Never been to a costume fitting before, so I was like, do I bring my own stuff? And then at the same time, my university professors are like, oh well, you can't miss class for this. You can't miss class for like acting. So I'm like, well, I kind of need to pay for the school. And on top of that, I went to a very like private religious university. So when you tell them, oh, I'm in a movie called Heretic, there's some bad
It wasn't
connotations
the
about
easiest.
that.
Yeah.
So they weren't particularly pleased. But it was just the best experience for like my first set ever. Everybody was so nice, and we had just all hung out in Squamish of all places. It was really cool.
So if it's not rude to ask, how old were you when you booked that?
I was 18,
And how old are you now?
20.
That's so amazing. I just think that's phenomenal that you've done that. What was it like when that? Because obviously that had like big screen release. It was got rewards, so not rewards, award nominations and things. What was it like for kind of like your family and everyone around you? Like, what was the response you got?
My grandma absolutely loves Hugh Grant. So as soon as I told her that I booked this movie that's starring Hugh Grant, she was just, "Oh my gosh, like I need to know everything." And then I think because like nobody in my family's in the film industry, they're kind of just like, "Oh, like that's cool, congrats, like have fun." So that was funny. And then as soon as it came out, and then I'm getting like DMs from friends that I haven't seen in years, all of a sudden like sending me a photo of their TV screen, and they're like, "What are you doing on my TV?" And it's just like, oh yeah, I did that cool thing. Like, thanks for noticing. And yeah, so many people just messaging me like, you're in Heretic question mark? And it's like, yeah. It's like it's the smallest role, but like for my first role, it
It's
was
such
fun.
a wonderful thing to have on your CV. So I have to ask, what's your favourite Hugh Grant role over the years? Do you have a
Oh,
favourite?
I don't know. I think I'm biased because like Heretic, I was in it, so I kind of have to say that. And then always the villain roles. I think that's very cool that he like stepped out and did that to change from like the heartthrob typical thing. But I watched most of them growing up with my grandma because she was always, oh my God, look at this like love drama, look at this one, look at this, and so for me to be like, okay, but I got to be in the one where he's a villain for the first time. It was kind of cool.
Because yeah, he kind of went there. There's a lot of love for Paddington 2 in our house because
Hmm.
he's amazing in that. But that was like a test run of like he just
Oh yeah.
played with it. But obviously it's Paddington. It wasn't really that scary. Whereas yes, obviously Heretic's full on. So that's phenomenal. What came next? Did you do the Sisters next or a Vertical next? Do you remember the timeline?
Ooh, so I booked Heretic in the October, and then I did my very first vertical after that, like the following spring, and it was called when we were filming it, it was called Marry My Husband, but after it came out, I think it was Slay Queen Second Life. And that was when verticals were like brand new to Vancouver. I didn't know what it was. It just said web series. So I was like, all right, I'll try that. Like I show up to set and they're like, oh, well, the actor that you're playing the younger sister of, his hair is brown, so we're gonna spray your hair brown with root spray. So it's kind of just like, all right, this is only like the second set I've been on. Like, sure, why not? And then from there, I booked another two verticals, and then it was Chicken Sisters.
Okay. So did the root spray come out? That's what I want to know.
It came out eventually after like 5 showers.
And a lot of brown, presumably in your shower.
Hmm. I had to sleep for a few days with my hair just like up in a towel because I didn't want to have to like repeat the 3 hour process the next day for filming. So it was very
Oh,
sticky, but I took advantage of it and I did a photo shoot with the brown hair while I could. I had like one day off, so I was like, okay, booking a photo shoot, getting headshots and stuff with brown hair just so I have those. Yeah.
that's such a good idea. So I'm going to come back to Chicken Sisters, but one of the ones I want to work. I mean, it's one of my favourite verticals of all time, which is It's Meant to Be, which I think was one of your
Yes.
early roles.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and it's quite interesting that you said about dance, because obviously part of the story is that you're at a dance school with a
Yeah.
heroine. So presumably that was quite nice to actually use a little bit of your dance skills in it.
A little, it was a ballet school. I'd never done ballet,
Okay.
but I had done a lot of like circus classes. So when we're filming the ballet scenes, I'm like talking to the director and I'm like, what if I just like do a cartwheel into the splits to start this scene? And they're like, all right, like go ahead, sure, why not? And then yeah, the lead, she actually did ballet, so she's teaching us like before we start filming. She's like, "Hey, this is how you do a pirouette. You're gonna do this." And it's like, "Okay, we got it." And then like me and like the Mean Girl trio were like copying her lead, and it was so fun.
So yeah, I mean, you're a really bad mean girl in that. I mean, I think you're one of the top mean girls in it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
pretty intense, and but I quite like that because there's a kind of bit, I think it's about midway through, where kind of her love has got you all in this warehouse and is all like, he basically they manage to scare most
Hmm.
of them. But I love that your character's still like, she's still not really. Like
No, she's not
even
scared.
with like severe life and death violence, she's like, I still don't like her. I'm still doubling
Yeah.
down on being mean.
I'm like,
Um,
I'm not gonna apologize. Like,
what is that like? Because that must have been quite intimidating, that scene. Just trying to.
yeah, it was so fun because of course I know all those actors. I've worked with them before on like other shows. My first show with like Nick Westaway, who led that show, we were playing siblings. So all of a sudden to go from like British siblings together to then him like trying to get me arrested and getting me kidnapped was just so hard trying not to laugh. And then like all of us tied up and doing the stunts. And Alicia, who played April's mom in that one, she played my mom in another vertical. So we were all just like a family, and it was so fun. The whole time they're checking on us, like, okay, are you okay? Like your wrists are okay? Okay, like can we roll? And it's like, yeah, we're good. Let's roll. And then okay, we're gonna put the bag on your head, but we're gonna take it off within 10 seconds. Like you're gonna be fine. It's like no, we're good. Let's just play it up. Let's just do it.
So you mentioned that. So is that the main centre of verticals in Canada, in Vancouver? Is that where it all happens?
Most of the time, yeah, like Vancouver's kind of the Hollywood North. I know there's a lot going on in Toronto as well. Um, but yeah, Vancouver seems to be where most of them are going on right now.
Okay, so now we have to talk about. You know what we have to talk about, because so many people are obsessed with this vertical. So we have to talk about Mafia's tender torture, which also I think is quite important because we know there's a tendency of once you've been an awesome mean girl, as you were, there's always that slight worry, isn't it, that that's then what everyone knows you for.
Yes, which is what makes Mafia's Tender Torture that much more like of a story because I had to fight for that role. I had to send in like 50 auditions because I originally I was on set of Meant to Be and I was talking to one of the other like crew members, and he had the script for Mafia's Tender Torture, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the script that your boyfriend's leading in next." So I read it. I'm like, Mafia's Tender Torture, like I don't want him to do that with another girl. Heck no. So I'm like reading through the script. I'm like, okay, I have to get myself as the lead. I go up to the producers and I'm like, can I audition for this? Like it's Evan leading, so it kind of makes sense that like we'd be the male and female leads. And they're like, no, like you're a mean girl. Like you can audition for the mean girl. And I'm like, no, I want to audition for like the lead. So then they're talking to the clients. The clients are like, oh, like we kind of want her for the mean role or for like a different vertical as the villain. So like back and forth with that. Finally, they send me an audition. I'm like, okay, film the audition. It's not good enough. They want another one. Go home that night after set, film another audition. Still not good enough. Film another audition. So then I was like, okay, Evan, I'm coming to your house. It was like 11 at night. And I'm like, we're filming an audition together, chemistry read style. We're setting that off to them, and that better work. We filmed that, sent it off, and then like a week later of just the production company here debating with the clients in China and the producers and the script supervisors, everybody talking like, no, like just please let Haylie play the nice girl for once. She could do it. They finally said yes. And it was just this weight off of my shoulder, like, okay, finally breaking out of villain like jail.
And I think that's amazing because that is actually who Vesper is. Because I think
Yeah.
Vesper's like one of the strongest characters, so it fits that you fought and fought to get that role because that's what she does. So I have to
Absolutely.
go back to something you mentioned. So if you don't mind me asking, when did you meet Evan then? Was that on set or was it more in a...
Ooh. It's weird. So we met on set in that July. We were
Mm,
on a show called Secretary's Secret together, where I
mm,
played the antagonist, of course, and he was like the hero that kind of fell in love with my character's sister, and then he got her pregnant, but he was like drunk, so he thought it was me, and he got engaged to me. So that's how we like met. We started dating after that show. But a few months after that, we were kind of just like, we were talking, and he was like, oh yeah, I did dance as a kid. And I was like, oh no, wait, I did dance. And he's like, oh, I did hip hop. He pulls up a video on his phone of him doing hip hop. He was like, I think it was like 2017 or something. And he's showing me dancing. I'm in the back, 11 years old, watching him dance. We went to the same dance studio, had the same dance teacher, but like he's 3 years older than me, so he was in like the
mm.
more adult class. And yeah, me sitting there 11 years old just like watching him dance, and it was that moment of, oh my god, we've known each other since we were kids, but
Wow,
like don't remember.
that's amazing. So it was meant to
Yeah.
be. So yeah, and I think obviously that's part of the reason I think Mafia's Tender Torture does so well. So right, to Mafia's Tender Torture. First of all, you get an excellent swimming pool scene. And it's
Mm-mm.
a self-inflicted one because you jump in rather than someone pushing you. Um,
Yeah.
how does that work? The swimming pool scene? Is it cold? Is it heated?
It was not heated, and it was early October, so it was freezing cold, and I do not do well with cold. Evan loves his cold plunges, so he was fine. He was jumping in and out. He was doing his like slow-mo ab scene. I'm sitting there like holding a hot water bottle beside the sauna because they crank the sauna. They're like, "No, you're gonna jump in, you're gonna pretend to drown, then you could run straight to the sauna." So I'm like dreading it all morning. Finally, they're like, "Okay, let's do it." So I like give away my jackets, give away the hot water bottle, jump in. The second I jump in, my breath is just gone. I start like drowning for real, and I can't like catch my breath. The bottom's slippery. So then Evan, of course, his character jumps in and like rescues me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Nope, but we're gonna keep rolling." And like I can't breathe, and I'm trying not to pass out. And it made for a good scene, but like there's a couple behind the scenes where you could hear the director going, "No, like closer to camera, move her closer," and it's like, I can't really see right now. I'm blacking out. I'm drowning for real, but okay.
Oh,
But I was in Evan's arms, so it was like I'm good. I don't have to like hold myself up. I could just kind of let myself fake drown.
oh, bless you. You've suffered. You've suffered for your art. Well, thank you. Um, and with that one, obviously, she's a phenomenal character because I think it's fair to say that Raymond's, I always feel for quite a lot of it, is a bit of a man child
Mhm.
in that he doesn't really know what to do with the emotions that he likes her. And it all comes out as, no, she just is for the money. And I just feel that he's just got all this power, but doesn't know what to do
Mhm.
with the emotion. And so Vesper becomes this like incredibly strong character with like all this like, really kind of hardcore, very masculine dominant men around her, but actually she is the strongest. She calls the shots, she makes a decision to walk away. The fact when she talks to the doctor and like, you are not telling him what's gone on. How does that, is that, I guess what I'm trying to ask, is that quite empowering as an actress? that actually I think you pretty much dominate every scene you're in.
Yeah, it was really fun for like yeah, just to be the character that the one character Raymond's scared of because you see him in all the other scenes. He's like the gun, and he's like, "Don't do that," and he's like taking control. He's at the business meetings, but then Vesper comes into the picture, and he's like, "Okay, like you need this. Okay, I'll go get it." And like or like my character will be yelling at him, so he kind of like backs down, and that's like a really cool dynamic that I think people love to see.
Because there's some really cute scenes that you kind of get once you start doing like the sort of the more flashbacks, and you're like, there's a picture, you're arranging flowers, and then you see him peeking behind the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, so embarrassing. It's very, very cute. You also have some quite bad baddies, don't you? And also we have Bonnie. How did that
Yes.
work with that stunt on the stairs? Because I mean, it looks.
Yeah. So they got a stunt double for that. Because I couldn't fall backwards down a stair. I hadn't been like stunt trained yet. So we got a stunt double. She's like super nice. She had the same color hair as me. So yeah, she goes to the top of the stairs. They just kind of filmed her from behind doing the fall. And then I, of course, like when I'm doing the scene with Georgia, I like walk to the top of the stairs and you can't see my hand, but I'm holding the railing. So then she does the push and I just kind of like throw myself down the stairs, but I'm still like holding the railing so I don't fully fall back. And then we just filmed it like that a few times. And then to get the floor coverage, I just sat a few stairs up and then flopped back.
But I mean, yeah, it looks phenomenal. But yeah, we have that Vert thing, don't we? Of I think you're too nice to Bonnie, aren't you?
I think she tries to be nice. Because, like, I don't think Vesper wants too many enemies, but
It's one of those things that, oh, we really should have dealt with that because guess who pops up later? And then the
yeah.
other thing that's great is I love Colton in it as well.
Yes. He's actually how I was talking about the actor that I had to dye my hair brown for because he's playing my brother.
Yeah.
That was that actor. His name's Mosey. So we played siblings, and then in Mafia Center Torture, we saw each other again on set. It was like, oh my god, like I haven't seen you in a few months.
So do you have like a catch up then of like what have you been doing in between? Is it because it sounds like it is that in Canada that basically you end up back on set with similar people.
Oh yeah, it's always the same actor pool. So we're all like a family. Of course, like we see each other on social media, but then we see each other in person. It's like, oh my god, okay, we get to play this dynamic of characters next. We get to play this dynamic, so it's really fun to play around with.
Okay, so going back to that as well. So the other thing is you have quite a time jump in that, don't you? Because you have flashbacks at school, and it does seem to be a theme of how do we show Haylie at school? We put her in bunches or like that, don't we?
Pigtails.
Pigtails, we do that. And then you've obviously got also I love what they do to Evan's hair.
That's his natural hair.
It's lovely, but I love that it's always like when he's good, he's got natural hair, and when he's bad, it's the hair gel. It's like he's in
Every
bad
time.
mode.
Or when he's like a CEO, it's slicked back, but when he's a teenager, it's curly. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I love that
perfect.
that's just the decision in Vertland. This is what
Mhm.
works. But then obviously then you have her getting together with him, and then you have a 3 year jump, and then you have like a big jump because you have your son Hugo.
Yeah, it's like a
What,
7 year.
yeah, what is it like working with Pedro?
He was so fun. Like when we were filming all the warehouse scenes, like me and him were in like a few of the coverages where it's like Bonnie and Raymond talking. So me and Pedro were in the back. We found this like I don't we're in this weird warehouse. So they had this basketball hoop fish game for 5 year olds just like on the wall and we're like, we have time to kill. So me and him were in the back trying to be quiet while like competing throwing like ping pong balls into hoops together. And then if they landed on the ground they would like bounce and make noise and it was like, shh, like we gotta be quiet, they're filming. So the whole time we were just like playing games and laughing and his dad's so nice. He's always on set with him and
So yeah, and then the other thing I really want to talk about Matt is I love Frank.
Joey, yes.
I love him so much. I think my favourite thing in the entire thing is when eventually it's all sorted out and Vesper and Raymond get together and Frank's got tears in his eyes. It's just
That was like a last minute thing. We were about to roll, and I went, I feel like Joey should be crying. He should be crying for this. So then I tried to get them to add teardrops, and then they're like, nah, he wouldn't be crying that much. Like he's still a mafia guy. But then Joey was like, I got you. I'll bring the tears. And it's just like a really cute moment. Even like when I'm getting out of bed in that one scene, and he's sitting there, and I'm like, "Where's Raymond?" And then we did a little like Princess Diaries tie-in where he goes like, "Oh, as you wish, Miss Brown." So like that was just me and Joey improving that, and
okay, so I love that. So basically my favourite scene, actually, possibly in the whole thing, is from you. You directed that basically. Because
a
he's just
little bit, yeah. We were like, oh, like
oh,
we should do a tie-in to like
yeah.
this movie from the early 2000s. It'll be really cute. And
Yeah. So, what were your favourite bits in that? Kind of just basically, one, as an actress filming it, and two, what did you love most for Vesper in it?
Oh, like the flashbacks were of course fun because you got to wear like the little like schoolgirl skirt and everything. I think just any scene where like me, Evan, and Joey got to be on set together was just so much fun because the three of us get along so well. And the golf scene was also at the same house as like the pool and everything. So we were just, it was cold, but I was like wrapped in a blanket every time, just like waiting for the scene to start. Of course, all the office scenes are fun because it's like the reuniting of Vesper and Raymond, and we had some of our crew actually fill in as BG for that day. So it's super fun like that.
So, obviously, it comes out. Did you expect when you filmed that? Do you have that of this might do quite well?
No, not at all. We were just like, okay, like, yeah, it's another vertical. Like, of course, it's my first time leading. I hope it does well, type of thing. But then, yeah, as soon as it started taking off, it was like, oh my gosh, like, people actually really like this. And I think a lot of it is due to the title. It's short, and then it's punchy. Like, people go, oh, Mafia's tender torture. Yeah, I'll click on that.
So, when did you first? How do you? Does it first like get back to you that this is doing well? What's the first thing you notice or you're told?
I was actually on set of a feature film when it like kind of really came out and took off, and I was sitting in hair and makeup, and then all of a sudden I was getting like a bunch of messages from like Evan and the director and like the crews from that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's number one! Like it just came out yesterday, it's number one." And of course, like these feature film people, they don't know what a vertical is, so they're like, "And it's what? It's called what?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Mafia Center Torture," and they were like is it kind of risky, like what's going on there? And I was like, no, it's a web series, it's this and that. And then they're like, oh, okay, cool, because of course these are like LA crews, LA people, so they don't know what it is yet. Now they do, of course. But it was just a moment of oh my gosh. And then like go on my Instagram and the followers are just going up and up and up, and then my DMs are filled with people being like, oh, we love Vesper, we love Vesper. And it was like that, oh my gosh, like so exciting.
What are the main comments that you get from fans? What do they tell you that they love?
Oh, the nice fans say like, "Oh, you did such a good job. Like Vesper's my favorite character. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love that." Most of them though are people mad that they can't have Evan for themselves. They're like, "Oh, Raymond's my husband. Raymond's mine. Like I'm married to Evan. Evan's my man." It's like, all right, too bad. Sucks to suck for you, I guess. Like,
Do you get any support or training for that? Because obviously, when you doing this, it's about being an actress, but actually, you're kind of a social media creator manager as well. And then I mean, that's a lot. I'm quite cross on your behalf, and also kind of want to take over your DMs now and tell them all where to go. Um,
oh, like it's in the comments too. It's crazy. So many
Comments,
people being
yeah.
like, "Oh my God, Evan's mine. I'm taking him for myself," and it's like, good luck. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Have they met you in some of your other verticals? Like, have
They
refer
for
you
sure
back to
seen
earlier
me.
characters? But yeah, honestly, like, are you given support with that? Because that's a lot to manage.
I think my like social media is still like fairly small. Like I want to like build it a lot more this summer. So it hasn't been to the extent where it's so bad. If I see a comment I don't like, I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like I either can like I could delete them, or I just
Yeah,
go like, all right, like it's not a me problem. It's through a screen. Like I'm
yeah,
still gonna post about it. I'm still gonna be happy about it.
yeah. And how does Evan find it as well?
He finds it funny that I get so mad because he's like, I would never like think of anyone other than you. Like he's very much like, no, like you're my future. You're the girl I want. So he just laughs when I'm like, no, but like it's frustrating. Like,
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I feel for you, but I think you're handling it brilliantly. Um, so obviously you've done quite a few since then. Have you found that people ask now because of the success of you and Evan together? Do you get asked of like we want both of them? Is that something that you get asked? Because
yes,
it's not you
absolutely.
fighting anymore for that role. It's like no, we need Haylie.
Yeah, they were very much like Evan and Haley are now a duo. We're going to pitch them for every vertical. But actually, as soon as we finished Mafia Center Torture was when I had to join the Actors Union. So everybody, like all the clients were like, oh yeah, like hire Haley for this. And then people just had to keep telling them like, oh, sorry, we can't. She's union. So it kind of, we would have done like hundreds more shows since then together, but we just couldn't.
So I'm going to come back to the union because we definitely want to talk about that. I want to just talk about another one that you did do together, which is I think is one of your best roles actually, which is married my twin sister's rich fiance.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we don't get just one Haylie, we get two Haleys. So you
Hmm.
play twins who are insanely good. So you've got lovely Leia, who's nice, and then you've got Lena, who is, I'm sorry, the psycho from hell.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the great thing is that Leah starts to stand up for herself. So initially you're a bit like, just stand up to your sister, but she does, and it's really satisfying. One of the things that's been interesting is I've been interviewing quite a lot of people here, and I've had people talking about the difference between like theatre and film. And obviously with theatre, like, you know, the end goal of the play and you're kind of working all the way through in character. Whereas obviously with TV and film, you're jumping around in the storyline. But not
Yeah.
only are you doing that, you're also jumping around with which character you're playing. Like, how the heck did you prepare for that? Like, what did you
I
do?
think for that one, since it was so last minute, like, I hate to say it, but I didn't prepare at all. Like, I was just very much like, okay, we're doing this scene now. Cool. Like, I can't remember what happens before this, can't remember what happens after this.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna take the context of the scene and play it the best I can.
yeah.
And then having to, like, yeah, stand in one position as the nice twin and be like, oh, well, like, please don't do that. Like, no, you can't. And then all of a sudden, like, run upstairs, change costumes, run back downstairs, turn around and be like, I'm gonna do what I want, like, slapping this way, pushing myself down. So it was very much like just embodied the typical villain characters that I had been doing all that summer, were the mean twin, and then bring in like the Vesper for the nice twin, and just keep going like that.
Do you think maybe actually that worked in the way that you didn't have time to prep for it? You're like, I'm just getting on with this and just doing
Oh
it.
yeah, like I couldn't overthink it because I went through the script and I'm like, I'm literally on every single page. How am I supposed to memorize all that? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm just gonna memorize it 10 seconds before we go into the scene and just hope that works.
It is, it's amazing. I have to ask about the clothes in that because it does help us as a viewer. I'm
Yes.
loving the white coat and the red coat. It's like, red coat's here. We've got a problem.
Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about the clothes and kind of do you get an input in what you get dressed in? You know,
Yeah, originally it was like a lot different outfits, like they were a lot cuter, but we're filming of course like in Vancouver in like kind of the winter time, so it was freezing. So of course like they bought like boxes and boxes of those heat packs and they're like handing them out to us, we're putting them in our pockets, like sticking them to our backs and everything.
yeah.
Wardrobe's like running over and sticking like heat packs to us. But it was still like so cold. So I was like, can we just like make a coat color for each character and just go off of that? And they're like, you know what, yeah, like we'll just have this coat for all of like this character scenes, this coat for this character. But underneath the coats are like really cute like little skirts and like sweaters and all those things.
Because you do get seem to be given. I seem feel like they like to dress you in that kind of sort of Chanel like plaid quite a lot. You
Yeah,
almost
it's
feel that's like
very
your slight signature look.
yeah, I feel like that's a vertical look for sure. Of course, it's like wherever the clients are based. So usually they're based in China, and that's the style that they like on us.
Yeah.
So we just go with it. We're like, yeah, sure, like it's cute.
Have you ever wanted to keep any of the outfits you've had?
I've asked so many times. I'm like, can I have this? And I'm like, oh well, we use it for other verticals as well. So it's like, okay. Or like I'll go up and I'll be like, can I buy this off of you? And they're like, oh well, I got it for $200. And it's like, never mind. I will go to a thrift store and find something similar. So
Uh, um, so you mentioned obviously becoming a member of the union.
yes.
Okay, so I think we have to work with the assumption that people are like me and don't really understand much. So could you explain why you had to become of the union and then why that now means it's a challenge making verticals?
Yeah, so in North America we have like the Actors Union, which in Canada it's a UBCP and ACTRA. So that's all like your Netflix films, your Amazon series, theater releases, like most if not all of those actors are part of the union. It's a lot more like safety measures. They're there to make sure that everybody's cooperating on set, that there's like equal pay and stuff, WorkSafe BC. But then the verticals are non-union. So if you're a non-union actor, you could do all non-union work, and then if you're lucky, you could work as a permittee on a union set, which I was when I booked Heretic, Chicken Sisters, and then Casket Girls, which comes out this coming October. So I then got 3 credits or more than 3 credits from that, which means they kind of contacted me and they're like, hey, you have enough credits from these big union films. You either like have to join the union or like we can't really keep hiring you as a permittee. Like there's rules. So I was like, okay, like if the Chicken Sisters gets a season 2, like I want to be able to do that. It did get a season 2. I'm getting to do that. And then yeah, if I wanted more like big auditions for Disney and stuff, I would have to join. So I made the decision, I joined, but that means no more non-union work in the verticals, which was really crushing, and I'd keep getting like messages and emails being like, "Hey, can you do our vertical?" And it's like, if you sign the union papers and make a deal with them, I can. But then you run into the problems with like residuals and buyouts, which a lot of the platforms are like hesitant to pay because they're like, "Oh, we don't really know what this union is. Like, why would we kind of want to pay them?" So
Do you think though? Because I think obviously everything's changing so fast in the vertical scene,
yeah.
in that we've got a lot more production companies and apps setting up, and I think finally, basically, the rest of the world is waking up that China's kind of running and making all the money, and maybe they should get a piece of the action. And I know there's rumours that like Netflix and Amazon and Disney are all looking at the format.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard quite a lot of people be like, "Oh, like Amazon's starting to make verticals," and then also like I've been in contact with a lot of like creatives in Vancouver who are saying like, "No, we're working on making a deal with the union for like with the verticals so that we could be in this partnership so that I can do the verticals under a union contract and so that the union can still make a deal with them and it'll all be able to work out." So hoping that that can happen within the summer, ideally.
And is that something that you're finding talking to quite a lot of the other Vancouver verticalists they'd like as well? Because it just means then you don't have to choose. It just seems silly that you have to choose. Surely you should be able to work
Yeah.
whatever you want to do and
Because
sites
the
and scroll.
verticals are like, yeah, the verticals are consistent work. They're all the time. Like I was working full time in the verticals, like making a living off of them. And then of course it's scary when you get cut off from that all of a sudden. It's like, okay, where's the work? But because of like the strike and everything, there's not a lot of work in Vancouver right now. So all the union actors are of course like panicking. They're like, what do I do? Like they're having to get part-time jobs. They're having to scramble to find work, which is scarce right now.
Yeah. So can you talk a bit about Chicken Sisters? Because if people don't know, I love this because I love the variety of your work. So okay. So anyone who's come in verticals, it's like right, Haylie's in like really intense mafia dramas, and there's slaps, and there's murder and poison and stabbings, and then Haylie's also in a Hallmark thing, which makes me so happy. How did Chicken Sisters come about? As in, how did it come up? Did you have to work really hard for
Yeah.
audition? Just basically tell me all about Chicken Sisters, and also the fact
Yeah.
that you're working with Leah Thompson and some like absolute like goddesses of the acting world
I
in it as well.
It was so like I got the audition from my agent. She sent me it and she was like, "Hey, this is it's based off of a book that was in like Reese's book, like Reese Witherspoon her book club." And I was like, "Oh, like that's really cool." I got the audition originally for a character named Frankie, which plays Skylar's daughter. So I was like, "Okay, cool." Like they wanted, of course, a ginger, and I was like, "I'll dye my hair if I need to." Like sure. I filmed that, and then a few weeks later, my agent calls me and she's like, "Okay, you actually look a lot like a younger version of the actress that's playing May, which is Genevieve. They want you to audition for a younger version of her. Also, can you do the Southern accent?" And I was like, "Sold, I got you." Filmed the audition in a Southern accent, took it very like Britney Spears style. I had like shorter hair then, so then I did like blue eyeshadow because she's based in like the 90s, the 2000s. Filmed that. And then I was at work one day. I worked at a candy store in the town I live in, and my agent calls me and she's like, "You booked the role of Teen May," and of course I'm like behind the counter like, and all the customers in the candy store they knew me pretty well. They knew that I wanted to be an actress, so I just like turned to one of the like the regular customers and I went, "I just booked a Hallmark." So the whole like candy store was like celebrating for me. And yeah, got to set. They were like, "Okay, your hair's a little bit lighter than we need. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna change it." They gave me this like beautiful strawberry blonde color. And yeah, I got to film with like Wendy Malick playing my mom. Like that's insane. Leah Thompson from Back to the Future. That was just like, oh my gosh, like inner childhood me is screaming because Back to the Future was my favorite show growing up. And yeah, the southern accent of it all was so fun. The whole crew was talking in a southern accent just because you pick it up from watching the actors.
Um, and so for people who don't know, what's the difference in just like the speed
Oh,
of how it's filmed from like say working on something like Hallmark and obviously you worked on film set and then working on verticals because I think that would be quite useful for people to understand.
yeah. So verticals are roughly about 15 pages a day that we're shooting in like 12 to 13-hour days. And then we get 7 to 10 days to film a vertical. So you're filming all these pages like back to back to back, super speed, changing costumes, like everything's super fast, trying to get a 100-page script done in 7 days. Hallmark and Union films are like 4 pages a day, 5 pages a day. You retake the same scene a bunch of times, just get different coverages. The director will come in, they'll kind of tell you, okay, can you do it this way? We'll do a bunch of different angles, relighting. Like, it's a lot. They have a lot more budget too, so we can get like a lot more cool things. It's horizontal, so you can get more kind of angles and background coverage. So it's a lot slower, a lot calmer than the verticals, but both of the dynamics, I love both of them because I love the fast pace of the verticals and go, go, go. But then it's nice to get like the Hallmark kind of friendly, just take you at your own pace, do your like work on your own craft type of thing.
And in my vision, I mean, basically, do they like give you a lot of hot chocolate and cookies? Because that's and puppies. That's my view. You walk onto a Hallmark
Oh
set,
yeah.
and they're
We
like,
did have a dessert truck that was very nice. They had like chocolate covered marshmallows and chocolate covered strawberries and all that. So of course, like me and the actress that plays my sister in it, we're like walking back with like our chocolate trays, and the food truck guy's like, "How do you like them?" We're like, "They're great. They're delicious." And yeah, you got like the crafty tents all set up and
so I have to go back to your grandma. What's your grandma's favourite role of yours? What does she like best?
ooh, she doesn't like when I play the mean girl roles. She does like Vesper quite a bit, but I think because playing Wendy Malick's daughter, like my grandma loves Wendy Malick, so Chicken Sisters is her favorite thing. Like I went over to my grandma's house the other day, and Chicken Sisters is on her TV. She's like watching me on it.
I love that, and yeah, that makes sense. I can see that grandma would go for that one. Um, so you said you're doing Chicken Sisters. Have you filmed that yet, or is that
So
coming up?
season one we finished last summer, and then we just started season two last month. So I've done 2 episodes so far of that one, just like flashbacks during those episodes. I'm hoping I get brought back for more episodes, but I don't know yet because they do like one block at a time, meaning they only shoot 2 episodes at a time, which usually takes a month to a month and a half to film 2 episodes. So you kind of figure out if you're in the next ones as they go.
Yeah.
But yeah, on Thursday, a couple days ago, I just filmed another episode or another little chunk in an episode, which was really fun.
And can you? Is that all filmed in Canada? Then you don't need to.
Yeah, we're filming in Vancouver.
Oh, amazing. So going forward, what else would you like to do? Kind of what's on your ambition list?
Ooh.
Because I also want to ask you about. You said you did a little bit of assistant directing on the side before we started.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that, please? Because that's exciting.
Yeah, so since I haven't been able to act in the verticals and stuff and like in between kind of union jobs, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna direct. Like Canada is in need for more Canadian directors because I know a lot of American directors are coming up, but the film industry's like, no, we kind of want Canadians to get on the directing scene. So I've been doing a lot of assistant directing, which has been so fun because I get my walkie-talkie. I just get to show up, wear what I want. I get to like wrangle cast around, spend hours like making call sheets, which I don't like technology, but it's part of the job. It's part of the it. There's a lesson in everything. So I'm like, you know what? This is gonna pay off in the long run. And yeah, I just get to like help people. I love to be because as an actor, they don't really let you carry stuff. They don't let you kind of help because you're not supposed to anyways. But as an AD, I'm like, oh, I can help you guys move this. I can help you guys carry this. So the crew is always like, oh wait, you shouldn't be touching that. And it's like, no, I'm the AD, and they're like, oh, okay, sure. They're just not used to seeing me
Yeah.
as anything but their actor.
So are
Just
you
been
doing that on quite a lot of verticals then?
yes,
So you can kind of hang out with your people,
yes,
but in a way that you won't get in trouble. I love it.
exactly, yeah. So, but I think I just got an American manager actually, so she's gonna start submitting me for more like LA shows, more American shows because a lot of the times stuff films in Vancouver, but they do their casting in LA. So now my American manager, she's gonna submit me as like an LA actor, so I could do the audition there and then come to Vancouver to film it. So I'm hoping that this summer that brings a lot more opportunity. Like I've already had some cool opportunities through that and then yeah, ideally be able to just full time act in
That
the
sounds
in the
so
big
exciting.
productions.
So yes, we need to repeat the call for yes, we need the unionisation to happen for verticals. Um,
Absolutely.
who do you really rate? I'm going to ask you to name names in the Canadian vertical scene. And you're obviously allowed to say Evan, but some other people, like who are the people that you're like, just these are phenomenal actors and actresses that the world needs to know
Ooh.
more about?
Of course, like Evan and Joey, those are like my Mafia crew. Like I have to go with them. There's an actor, Michael Wattel. He's like fairly new to the verticals. He's doing like really well. He's played kind of like more dramatic roles, but also like comedic roles. So that's really cool. Sarah Sheenan, she's doing a bunch of stuff now. She's gonna be a lead in one coming up. She's like super cool, like little ginger, like she's my age, super sweet. And then there's so many directors too. That's just amazing. Like Dom, he did Mafia Center Torture. He also did Trapped in Your Toxic Love, and we always get along really well. Like we want to start pitching if the verticals can become union. We want to pitch me, Evan, and Dom as like a trio, the director and then the two lead actors to like different platforms, and be like, oh, we'll do this show for you as a trio. Like,
That sounds
kinda,
amazing. And I
yeah,
guess it goes back to that thing of the fact that you three did Mafia's Tender Torture and the numbers
yeah.
delivered. It kind of shows that that presumably has opened a lot of doors for all three of you.
Absolutely, yeah. And not only like Mafia Center Torture reached #1, but now
Mm.
Trapped in Your Toxic Love that just came out with also me, Evan, and Dom.
Mm.
That's also reaching like top three, all that. So I think people are slowly realizing like, okay, if we want our show to go top charts, we're gonna have to get Haylie in on this, which means we're gonna have to sign the union contracts. So
Love it.
hopefully something can come out of that.
Um, and just talk about other future roles. So obviously you've done some amazing villain stuff. You've done obviously a range of stuff. What I would love to see you. Do you fancy comedy at some point?
I would love to do a comedy. Like Chicken Sisters, it's kind of a comedy. Like my character has a lot of
Yeah.
funny moments where I'm like, oh, just once I'd love to spend a Saturday without deciding which hands to send to their deaths. Like that's funny, but I'd love to do like leading a series as a comedy for like Netflix or Amazon. I think that would be super fun. I have another horror movie coming out in October where can't say much about it yet. It's on my IMDb. It's called Casket Girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, I certainly played up the horror. I was not any comedic relief whatsoever.
And I have to ask as well, because I think it's always quite fun when, obviously, I mean, I'm talking more about verticals, but when you're known for certain roles, obviously yourself and
Mhm.
Evan are known for these kind of intense, slightly torrid relationships. That's why I think it'd be great for like Evan as well to play against type and have you two doing a bit more of a kind of maybe like, more of the bickering falling in love thing rather than the angry falling in love. I just feel that could really
Yeah.
work and it'd be great to see.
I know, that'd be so fun. I know there's like a superhero one planning to film this summer. And they really want to pitch me and Evan for it. And I know they're trying to get the union agreements done with that because it could be like a reciprocal union.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that that can work out and they're able to make it union for me because I would love to do a superhero one, especially with Evan.
Yeah. Okay, right.
That would be,
Everything crossed for that. Um,
yeah.
so just talking just more generally about film and TV, like you mentioned you love Back to the Future, kind of just, yeah, what are
Yes.
your favourite movies? What are just generally actors and actresses that you love?
Yeah, so of course, like Back to the Future, I've always been a fan of like time travel type stuff. So growing up, that was like my favorite, along with High School Musical. That kind
Yes.
of,
High School Musical.
yeah, High School Musical was my thing as a kid. I had the High School Musical Barbies, had High School Musical furniture, sang all the songs. Same with like Teen Beach Movie. I was the biggest Disney kid, watched absolutely everything. A lot of my references that I still make today are from Disney. So when I say them, people look at me like, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, well, it's a Disney reference. But I think now my favorite kind of genres, like the CW genre, so Vampire Diaries, The 100, Supernatural, that type of thing. Like I would
100.
love to do like Nina Dobrev in Vampire Diaries. I would love that role so much because she got to play Catherine, she got to play Elena, she got to play Amara. Like she got to do the mean versus nice.
Mm,
So I got a taste of that with the Twin Show, of course, but not to the
yeah.
extent of like a CW drama.
Oh, yeah, so I have to go back to The 100. The 100 is one of my favourite all-time TV shows. It's
I
such a
know,
good...
and they filmed that here too, but I was too young. Joey actually did background in The 100. Joey, who plays Frank on Mafia, he got to do background on The 100, which I'm so jealous. But of course, I was like freshman
He
in high
wouldn't have
school.
got to wear anything glamorous in that one, wouldn't he? He wouldn't have been very vertical. I think they spend most of their time in the woods, don't they? Or in the mud, or in those sort
Yes.
of underground bunkers they have. So yeah, it's like,
Yeah, he played one of the soldiers, and he said it was freezing cold. It was rainy. They were like miserable.
which is kind of the theme of 100. It doesn't go that
Yeah,
well most of the time,
it's
so
the
at least it
vibe.
was. So yeah. Um, And then, yeah, movies, and I guess kind of actors and actresses are the kind of ones that you really rate and you think, gosh, if I could have a career like that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, like Millie Bobby Brown. I know I was just talking to like my American manager when she was like, "How do you like? What would you like your career to look like?" And I was like, "Millie Bobby Brown. She's killing it. She has a series, she has movies, and now her and her husband are producing their own stuff, which I would love for like me and Evan to be able to do one day is produce our own films. Like
Mhm.
that would be super cool. Any sort of like trajectory of just being able to be on a series that goes for like multiple seasons, multiple years, and then also do feature films in between that would just dream come true.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to happen. You're phenomenal with what you've achieved, and like your 20s.
Hopefully, it's looking good.
So
I'm
yeah.
optimistic about it.
I just want to say a huge, huge thank you because you shared so much with us.
Oh yeah, of course.
And we all love you. And yeah, just fingers crossed that everything comes together so that hopefully you can be kind of one of the trailblazers of the first, who's done big Hollywood, big verticals, big
Yeah.
TV, and just you show I really think you're kind of the future of how it's going to be, that you just effortlessly move between all of them. So just, yeah, good luck.
Hopefully, yeah. It's all about who you know. So the more connections you make, the more like you talk to people on set, the more they kind of remember you, and bring you back.
Yeah. Um, just thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. It was
Thanks for
excellent.
having me. This was fun.